Hello, BookTube. I have some mail on a very soggy, very wet Tuesday. It rained. The rain held off all night long, and then it started to rain right before dawn and picked up in the early morning. It looks like it's tapering off now. So in the afternoon, the Bean and I should be able to get a walk in, but it looks to me like another bank of rain, an even bigger bank of rain, is coming overnight and into tomorrow. So we'd better get in a walk. But I have some mail. One package and one box. And the box is fairly heavy, so the box may have a big finished copy in it, and that's good, because there are two big copies that I want. Maybe not finished copies, but there are 2,000-page whoppers that I really, really want. I'm hoping that they're coming my way. But first we'll do this little package here, which is very light. It could be a mass market paperback, and if it's a mass market paperback, it could be a romance. Because it won't be a Star Trek novel anymore. I've mentioned on this channel that I typically, when I go to a retail bookstore, I look for mass market paperback romances and Star Trek novels, because publishers don't send me as many of those things as I would like. I don't get any Star Trek fiction in the mail. I get a few romance novels, but not as many as I like. But Star Trek novels have moved to trade paperbacks, the larger paperback. Those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, this size paperback, as opposed to the smaller size. So I could probably request those, but I look for them anyway in bookstores. There's about one, I don't know actually how many Star Trek novels are published in any month, but there's only one original crew, original series novel that's published in a month, typically. And I look for those on the trade paperback tables because they don't come in mass market anymore. But what have we got? What have we got here? What is this? Oh, it looks like a little bit of both. This is The Promised Queen by Jeff Kennedy. Very pretty cover there. Award-winning best-selling author. Comes the third and final book in the Forgotten Empire series. I wonder if I have the other two. The fate of the world hangs in the balance as Khan, Leah, and their allies sacrifice everything in a final bid to destroy the corrupt empire. Conry, former crown prince of Oriel, claimed the hand that wears the abiding ring, but the prophecy remains unfulfilled. Oh, I read the first book in this. I know I got it in the mail. I wonder if I read the second one. Queen Euthalia of Calanthe returned to her island kingdom, but broken in mind and body. Queen Euthalia. Eulalie! Naturally see that, and I can't help but think Eulalie. And it's only the Woodhouseians out there that are going to know what I'm talking about. So I blurt out the word Eulalie, and two things happen. The Woodhouse fans out there perk up and say, "Oh, yay!" And also, somewhere out there in the world, Roderick Spode freezes solid in dead fear that his secret is exposed. Eulalie! Anyway, Leah must use her magical bond with Calanthe to save their people, while Khan fights to hold off the vengeful Emperor Anure and his wizards. Khan and Leah will have to trust in each other and in love to fend off ultimate disaster. And Jeff Kennedy is an award-winning best-selling author who writes fantasy with romantic elements and contemporary romance. She serves on the board of directors for the Science Fiction Writers of America as director-at-large. Okay, so what are the other two books in this series called? The Fiery Crown and the Orchid Throne. Oh my, I feel certain that I read The Fiery Crown, and I might have read The Orchid Throne too. I want to say that I reviewed one of these. Okay, well anyway, this comes out in late May the 25th. A mass market, sort of romantic science fiction, romantic fantasy, with a very pretty cover design. That is not something you see all that often anymore. So that's wonderful. Okay, but that's late May, so I don't have to worry about that for a week or two. Then we'll do the box. What have we got in the box here? Oh my. It's a gift from one of you. It's a box full of romance novels. Oh my. With a postcard. Greetings from Minnesota, land of 1,000 lakes. Oh, very nice. Okay. Oh, okay. I was actually emailed about this. One of you sent me not only a box of romances, but a box of Harlequin historical romances. So Paige Sarah at the Bookish Knitter, she probably has some of these. I think I hauled on this channel, I got a similar box from the same person months ago, and oh my, there were probably, I don't even know, 15 books in that box. And I read through them every time I was done with a so-called real book, a current book, something that I'm reading because, because I work the waterfront. Every time I was done with one of those, I would change things up with one of those historical novels. And of those 15, probably 5 of them were just wonderful, including one that really did it for me. It was called Her Best Friend the Duke, and boy, oh boy, was it good. Just a wonderful story. So what have we got here? Is this going to be the same thing? I wonder. Is it going to be that I'm going to read, all of these, and maybe 1 or 2 of them are really going to stick out for me? I don't know. Okay, so we have A Match for the Rebellious Earl by Laura Temple. Now, see, unlike Sarah, I'm not going to know everything there is to know about these authors of these series and whatnot. I just want to answer one question here. This is a historical novel. Chapter 1, Chapter 2. Okay, no. All right, so it doesn't give a date. And that's good, because that is going to be the wrong dress for anything in the Regency. But still, what have we got here? Whispers of Captain Kit Carrington, now Lord Westford, have long scandalized Le Ton. So his arrival at the season's most anticipated ball sends society gossips into a frenzy. Miss Genevieve Maitland needs his help to find an eligible match for her sister, but assumes he'll be reluctant to help the family that rejected him. Yet after one spine-tingling waltz with Kit's, sensible Jenny finds he's not her opponent, but a very tempting ally. He will not help to find a match for her sister. Instead, he will end up being a match for her. Okay, then we have, this is another historical. This is Virginia Heath, the Viscount's Unconventional Lady. I could swear I've heard Sarah mention Virginia Heath before, but I don't think I've ever read her. After years as a diplomat in the Napoleonic Wars, Lord Eastwood, you couldn't fight? Why were you a diplomat, not a soldier? An adjutant. He's reluctant to return to London society. His scandalous divorce has made him infamous, not to mention cantankerous. My divorces from Deb were all scandalous, and they made me overjoyed. To halt the rumor mill, he should marry a quiet noblewoman. Instead, it's bold, vibrant artist Faith Brooks who's caught his attention. Oh, man, I can't thank the sender here. From Minnesota, I cannot thank you enough. Then we have Christmas Cinderellas. This is an anthology. Christmas with the Earl, Invitation to the Duke's Ball, and A Midnight Mistletoe Kiss. And the authors are Sophia James, Virginia Heath, and Catherine Tinley. And of those, Catherine Tinley is the only one I haven't read. The other 2 I know and like. So this is just a collection of Christmas-themed Regencies. Those kinds of anthologies go back a long time. The Regency and Christmas go back a long time. Then what have we got here? Oh, I think this one's not a Regency. This is Forbidden to the Highland Laird by Sarah Mallory. Exchanging elegant society balls for clan wars, Logan Rathmore has returned to Scotland as the new Laird of Ardvark. Ardvark. He's the new Lord of Aardvark. I hope he doesn't get antsy. Peace is within grasp when he meets musician Elisa McInnes from a rival clan. Her stubborn pride and innocence fascinate him. But with her now under his protection, he must do nothing to abuse her trust. Okay, so a Highlander Regency romance, or Highlander historical romance. Because the Harlequin historicals typically, once upon a time, a long time ago, I don't know, these are all new. Once upon a time, a long time ago, you got 4 of them a month. And they very intentionally varied up. There'd be a Western, there'd be a Highlander novel, there'd be a Regency romance, there'd be maybe something Viking or medieval. I don't know, a lot of these will probably be just straight up Regency. The next one is Jenny Fletcher. It's the Unexpectedly Wed to the Officer. With a scandal in her past, shopkeeper Henrietta Gardner, boy, getting a lot of great social discrepancy here. A lot of working class people. It's kind of interesting. I wonder if that's an editorial thing. I would ask Sarah at the Bookish Knitter if that was an editorial thing, but for some perverse, weird reason, Harlequin Books has not hired her. on their editorial staff. I don't know why, but they haven't, so she can't tell me. Shopkeeper Henrietta Gardner has become wary of men, including her friend's brother, dashing officer Sebastian Fortini. When Henrietta is called upon to take in her 3 young nephews, Sebastian's hand is on hand to help her, even offering a convenient marriage as a solution. So he is an officer and she is a shopkeeper. No landed gentry at all. Very rare for Regency romances. Even the ones that do work in the working class always have a member of the landed gentry. Oh my God, it's another shopkeeper. Good Lord. A Shopkeeper for the Earl of Westrham by Anne Lethbridge. Anne Lethbridge is a name I think I know. I think she was in the last batch of these historicals that I got from the same person. I think I liked it. Actually, let's see. Do we have a list of Anne Lethbridge's novels? Books by Anne Lethbridge in Harlequin Historical. It Happened One Christmas, Secrets of the Marriage Bed, Rescued by the Earl's Vow, The Matchmaker and the Duke. None of those ring a bell. Maybe not. But one way or another, this is, let's see, that is the title. He is a ginger. That doesn't happen often. Linked to the Widows of Westrham. Oh, is this in a series? Yes, it is. Okay, she's written 3 other books in a series called The Widows of Westrham. Linked to the Widows of Westrham. When the Earl of Westrham accuses antique seller Harriet Godfrey of peddling fakes, she accepts his grudging offer to help bring her supplier to justice. So she is also working. She also has a business of her own. Well, this is a theme here. Only spending time with Westrham sparks an irresistible attraction. As an earl, he's destined for a suitable society match. So she never wants to give up her, and she never wants to give up her independence. So perhaps this is the last chance for both of them to experience true passion. I think that's a little odd. I think that's, I'd have to ask Sarah, but I think that's a little rare for you to have books in series in a category romance. Anyway, oh, goodness gracious. Okay, all right, here we have another historical and another anthology, but it's not Regency, it's Tudor. That also is a little rare. This is Tudor Christmas Tidings. Blythe Gifford, Jenny Fletcher, and Amanda McCabe. Amanda McCabe name I know, and Jenny Fletcher we've already seen. But this is 3 Tudor short stories. In Blythe Gifford's Christmas at Court, Sir John Talbot and Lady Alice's secret betrothal must wait until Henry Tudor claims the throne. In Secrets of the Queen's Lady by Jenny Fletcher, the lady-in-waiting to Anne of Cleves is unexpectedly reunited with a handsome younger diplomat at the palace festivities. And in His Mistletoe Lady by Amanda McCabe, Catherine seeks help from a mysterious Spaniard to free her father in time for Christmas. Very striking cover. A Tudor anthology. Wow, this is going to be like 15. Fantastic. How incredible. I'll leave a link. I'll leave a warning in the title and the description so that those of you who aren't interested don't have to watch this. A little late for Sagalong. This is by Terry Brisbane, and it's called Tempted by Her Viking Enemy. We just did Sagalong. Oh, wait. Is this also part of a series? Boy, I'm going to have to ask Sarah about that. Okay, well, it is, but it's the first book in a series. But the series is taking place inside a category romance. Interesting. Okay, the only person who can help Katla flee a violent marriage is the Viking in her father's dungeon, the strong and honorable Brand Sigurdsson. Except Brand is hungry to see justice done for his family's destruction, the final vengeance on behalf of all the Sons of Sigurd. So, is there any persuasion she can offer that will free them both to live and love together? But wait a minute. He's seeking justice on behalf of his destroyed family, all the Sons of Sigurd. Does that mean they're all dead? In which case, a series called The Sons of Sigurd is only going to have 1 book in it. I guess we'll find out. I'll find out. What is this next one? Good Lord, more Christmas. This is another Christmas-themed Regency, only just 1 story. A Mistletoe Vow for Lord Lovell by Joanna Johnson. Look at that. How wonderful. Abandoned by her husband and society because her father was a slave, Honora Blake will never rely on anyone again until dashing Lord Lovell breaks the news that she is a widow and penniless and insists she spend Christmas with him and his pregnant ward. Beneath the mistletoe, passions flare between Honora and Isaac. Then childbirth places his ward's life in jeopardy, and these strangers suddenly face marriage to protect the baby. Her father was a slave, and she is a society outcast because of it. Oh my. Okay, well, to say the least, I haven't read anything like that. All right, let's keep going here. Okay, now we have Nicole Locke. This is the Maiden and the Mercenary. This looks like something more generically medieval. In order to find a legendary treasure map, Mercenary Louvre of May Solis must infiltrate his enemy's fortress under the guise of a servant. There, he meets beautiful maiden Didelius, a fellow servant with her own hidden agenda to save her sister from the malevolent lord's clutches. Yeah, so this will be, I wonder if it gives a date. This will be just generically medieval. 1297. This is 1297, this way in France. Okay. Oh no. Oh, I think I've got this one already. The cover looks familiar. And none of the rest of these did. Marcus in Want of a Wife by Louise Allen. I think I have this one already. Ross Vincent, Marquis of Cranford, with his scarred face and formidable disposition, there's the scar, see, knows he's hardly a catch, but he needs a wife to take care of his motherless son. Shy, scholarly Prudence Scott seems ideal. She has no expectation of love or passion. She'll care for his baby in return for the protection of his name. Yet seeing Prudence on their wedding day tests his willpower not to take his new wife to bed. What is the next one? One Snowy Night with Lord Hoxton. Is this another Christmas thing? It is. Good Lord. This is by Laura Martin. And you've got some Christmas decorations in the background there. Runaway debutante Henrietta Harvey will never live down the mortification of accidentally slipping into Lord Hoxton's bed. The jokes just write themselves, I tell you. So imagine her horror upon discovering they're snowed in together the next morning. Yet Henrietta comes to find this gruff, cold man has an intriguingly warmer side. Still, hiding a secret that would shock the Tawn, she's designed to become a spinster, unless she can trust him with the truth before the snow melts. Let's see, this next one, The Widow's Scandalous Affair, Lucy Ashford, that name rings a bell. Since discovering Raphael Lefebvre, Marquis of Montpellier, has danced with her to win a wager, cool beauty Lady Serena has openly criticized the rogue's behavior. Then he rescues her from a blackmailer and kisses her. Now Serena's forced to pretend they're conducting a scandalous affair. Amid the parties and balls, Serena's realizing Raphael is not the dissolute rake he'd have society believe he is, and she's in danger of falling for her enemy. These are going to be so much fun. Just when I ran out of the last batch, I have another batch now. This next one is by Bronwyn Scott. That name rings a bell. Very much so. What have you written, Bronwyn? Oh my, quite a few. She's written quite a few. The Secrets of Lord Linford. I have a feeling that I've read that. A Marriage Deal with a Viscount. One Night with the Major. Yeah, these things are ringing a bell. I'll have to check my shelves, but I know I've read this author before. And this is Portrait of a Forbidden Love. And you have paintbrushes. So the portrait is quite literal there. Artist Artemisia Stansfield has 4 months to prove herself to the Royal Academy of Arts. When she finds out that aristocratic art critic Darius Rutherford, aristocratic art critic? What? We don't have any noble people in my profession. Has been snooping in her studio, she's furious. Sparks of anger turn into flames of desire, but one lapse in judgment could give Darius all the fuel he needs to ruin her as a lady and an artist, unless she trusts him enough to take the risk. By now, we only have a few more to go, don't worry, but by now you're probably wondering which of these I'm going to do first. Okay, we have Amanda McCabe again. Great, this is His Unlikely Duchess. Miss Lily Wilkins hopes her American money will compensate for her lack of etiquette. It never does. Etiquette is priceless. As she needs a prestigious marriage to save her sister's prospects. Raised to believe wealth was her greatest attribute, she's stunned when her unconventional ways catch the eyes of the notorious Duke of Lennox. He's far from safe, sensible match she'd planned on, but Lily might just discover he's the one she needs. And this has the term Dollar Duchesses on there. Is this also a series? Yes, it is, but it also is the first one. Okay. His Unlikely Duchess. 2 more to go. What a treasure trove. Lady Margaret's Mystery Gentleman by Christine Merrill. Here we go. Who is he? Desperately hoping for a season to escape her overprotective brother, Lady Margaret convinces him to hire her a dancing master. David Castell is dashing, exciting, and mysterious, yet his probing questions about her family raise Margaret's suspicions. And she discovers that her charming teacher is undercover investigating her brother for murder. Margaret's determined to prove David wrong, but their irresistible attraction is disrupting both their plans. Okay, so she convinces her brother she convinces her brother, the nobleman, the head of the family, to hire a dancing instructor. The dancing instructor has lots of pointed questions about the family, and it turns out he's investigating her brother for murder. The end of the book practically is determined. It's practically for sure that her brother is guilty. He is found to be a murderer, and the dancing master is also a member of the family and inherits. And they live happily ever after. Okay, all right. And then the last one in this treasure trove. How amazing. Oh, goodness. All right, well, here we have somebody who's not a shirker, anyway. Her Gallant Captain at Waterloo by Diane Gaston. What a nice cover that is. Huh? Lady Helen Barnes travels to Brussels to bring her battle-seeking younger brother home, only to collide with Rhys Landon, her ex-fiancé. Gone is the penniless vicar's son, now transformed into a combat-hardened captain. Well, he's a captain at Waterloo. He's also still penniless. The spark still burns between them, but Rhys has a new love now, the army. Until, on the eve of battle, with Napoleon's troops advancing, the emotional turmoil of the past explodes in a night of passion. Okay, well, there we go. So that is, I can't do a Steve pile because there's way too many books. But I do have, this was an entirely romance. Oh, how fascinating. I think I do have a couple that did strike me as the ones that I want to read first. Let me separate those, and we'll see if you can guess what they are. So I'm going to put, let's see, I'm going to put these, the most convenient way by far is to just put these back in the box and deal with them that way. Some of them did strike me more than others. So we're going to pick 3 here. That I mean, they could all be really good. I don't know a lot about any of them. But we're gonna put them back in here and pick 3. I will show you the 3 that struck my interest the most. The ones that will be the first. I'm gonna read one of these in between every so-called real book until this batch runs out. in which case my supplier from Minnesota might have another box to send me. First one that struck my interest will come as no surprise to any of you. It is Tudor Christmas Tidings. Yeah, I can't pass up Tudor fiction of any kind at any time for any reason. The next one is that last one, Her Gallant Captain at Waterloo. I just find it fascinating. I want to see, especially, I mean, Waterloo is usually alluded to in Regency romances. Usually it's some battle-hardened man who has come back from Waterloo, who was wounded, has memories, etc., etc. But this looks like it's going to be right at the scene of the crime. It's going to be right on the edge of the action. And that's fascinating. That's interesting in its own right. And finally, Portrait of a Forbidden Love, which wins on all counts. Not only that cover, I really do like that cover, but also Bronwyn Scott is a name that I know. I know that I have read this author and really liked her work, and the whole idea of an aristocratic art critic and a painter. I mean, I know that Regency romances, just commercial romances in general, tend to get a lot of mileage out of unlikely mismatched pairs, but there is no way possible that an art critic and an artist could live happily ever after. There's no way that could be. But one way or another, those are the 3 that really interest me. Those 3, but all of these things, oh my, I'm going to gobble them all up. So there you go. That is the mail for today, and it's all romance. I will make sure to label this video. I won't offend. I won't take offense at all if you literary snobs don't want to listen to all of this. But I am overjoyed, not just with getting The Promised Queen in the mail, But with this box, what a present. You know who you are. If you sent this, I cannot thank you enough. My, what a treasure trove. So I'm gonna wrap this up and go explore. But I will be back. Thank you, BookTube.